What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. And what I want to talk about right now is the heavyweight division is at a standstill. Because if you look at what's going on, it's the same three names. But out of the three names, one guy has mandatories, Anthony Joshua. One down, one to go. Anthony Joshua wants to make this fight with Tyson Fury. He wants undisputed, but at the same time, he's saying that he possibly dropped the WBO belt to fight against Tyson Fury, and he feels that the Tyson Fury fight is bigger than undisputed. That's the question he was asking. That's how he answered yes, he think it is. Okay. At the end of the day, here's someone who had his sights set on becoming undisputed. And right now, there's no other heavyweights that's being pushed, catapulted, however you want to say it, into a spotlight. It's AJ, Fury, and Anthony Joshua. What's so crazy about that situation is, like I said, AJ just fought Pulev, who was a mandatory. His next mandatory, as we know, would be Usyk. Usyk, basically, we hear 1 week he's not going to step aside. We hear 1 week he is going to step aside. Then we hear he wants to fight Deontay Wilder. Wilder says he has a fight coming. He's moving on from Fury. Fury said the same thing. Now we're talking about mediation again. And, oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All we hearing is a lot of talk. No action. Aside from AJ. So my thing is, while the heavyweight division is becoming more stagnated because you have one fighting champion, then you have two other guys who saying they want to fight, but what's going on? So all of the little back and forth, I'll knock him out in 2 rounds, he's a bum, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of that stuff. The whole thing is, the way boxing has been promoting their fighters is not even getting any better. So when things start getting more interesting and we looking like we can move on and we're going to have undisputed, we're going to have, different guys come into the spotlight. Look at what happens. I would rather see like a guy like Daniel Dubois, who I was really pulling for him, and I still am. I'd rather see him lose a fight. Not so much in the manner that he did. I mean, we know his eye, he could have lost sight in that eye. But I'd rather see him lose a fight fair and square. But at least he went in there and fought versus watching guys go in the ring and fight meatballs. Talk about where they stand in the division, what they represent, and they're this, they're that, but then at the same time, the fights we want to see don't really happen. Now, we do get them. Let's not get greedy and act. It's not like we're being selfish and saying every time we just think of a fight it's supposed to happen. No, it doesn't happen that way. But what's the reason? If it's not for mediation, right, which I'd have to believe that that's what's causing this fight to not happen, why Fury is talking but no action, while Wilder's talking but no action, and now we're back to this whole thing. So my whole thing is, I'm not interested at all in Fury Wilder 3. But if they're going to fight, I just really want it to get over with. Get it done. Whoever wins, win. Next person, hopefully, is going to fight AJ for undisputed. And I don't think that there's no one opponent that you can have that's bigger than accomplishing your goals as being the undisputed champion. It doesn't get any better than that. You don't once you unify your division, you are the man. It's simple as that. I still think AJ is the best heavyweight out there, but at the same time, it's like I would not recommend anybody push their goals aside for the sake of one particular person. And at the end of the day, if Wilder was to beat Fury, well, does it really matter where the fight takes the fight between Wilder and AJ takes place? Really, does it matter? We don't know for sure that the fight between Fury and AJ was going to happen in the UK, which we know that's what the British fans want. I understand it and I agree. No problem. But wherever the fight would take place, it wouldn't bother me, but I could understand that. So if AJ beats if Fury was to lose to Wilder, okay, and then it's AJ versus Wilder, where it takes place and how it goes down is not really so much a factor from a fan from the standpoint of us just wanting to see a good fight. But at the end of the day, we know that the fight that people really want to see is AJ and Fury. Now, if Wilder was to avenge his loss, beat Fury, then it puts him right back in that position of people wanting to see that fight between him and AJ. But it's been so much talk that it's like, why? Why? What's the holdup with the fight? So I'm going with the notion that it's because of mediation in terms of why Wilder and why Fury, even though they both claim they were moving on, why nothing happened. We hear Mauricio Suleiman say Fury can fight whoever he wants, Wilder can fight whoever he wants. Then you hear Shelly Finkel, oh no, he can't. If he tries to fight someone else, he'll be sued. If he did all this, and it's like, listen, the soap opera side of these things, I have no interest in. I don't care about he said, she said. I'm only interested in the fight. And if we have a clear understanding as to why it's not happening, then that just leaves, that eliminates having to wonder and guess what it is. But at the same time, it's still not getting us to fight. So anyway, I feel like the heavyweight division is being held up right now because of that. In that sense, for as far as undisputed is concerned. But I can't say if I was AJ, for me looking at things from the way I see it and understanding that I have about what's going on, I wouldn't push my goals aside for no one person. The fans can talk all that, oh, he's ducking, he didn't want to, no. Fight your mandatories. Fight your mandatories. Let Fury and Wilder hash out their nonsense. Either they're going to finally fight or they're just going to keep going back and forth with nonsense with, old Spike Water with the gloves. Well, how come the camera was turned off? And, well, how come this? And then, well, what? All of that nonsense all over again. So anyway, I think that if AJ goes through and fight with Usyk, like people talking about AJ's in a lose-lose situation, no, he's not. No, because there's a lot of people that actually think Usyk can beat AJ. So how is he in a lose-lose? No, he beats Usyk. For anybody that can open their hypocritical mouth and say, oh man, but Usyk's not a heavyweight. First off, Usyk has fought a heavyweight before. People forget that. Two, you the same people that sit here and praise Evander Holyfield for coming up from cruiserweight. Same way. And fought some of the best fighters in boxing history and had some of the best fights in boxing history. So now all of a sudden, because it's AJ, or Usyk is not a stop. Who cares about that? At the end of the day, you guys just saw Roy Jones fight Mike Tyson. Roy Jones, who even went to heavyweight, still wasn't an actual heavyweight. But nobody cared about the size difference, the fact that this dude is naturally a much bigger guy than Roy Jones. Nobody cared about that. They just wanted to see how fast Roy was going to get knocked out. And at the end of the day, when that didn't happen, oh man, it was a boring fight. Oh man, I can't believe what happened. Oh man, the robbery, this happened, that happened. People are always going to find something to complain about. That's not even a factor. Fight your mandatories. Get that out the way. You don't have to worry about mandatories at that point. It's going to either be Fury or Wilder. And if this whole nonsense keeps going on, and you choose to sit back and wait, well, whatever any of them do, that's their decision. But I just think it would be foolish for you to stop your progress simply because you're waiting to see what's going to happen between two other guys. And when you do that, you can easily lose focus on who's in front of you. Because even though you're training, even though you're saying, yeah, I'm focused, I'm dedicated to my training, and part of you is still, man, but that's the fight I really want. And you can easily slip up. Like he said, that banana peel fight, you can have that simply because you want something more than what's in front of you at the time. And that can happen. So I think it would be wise for AJ to just fight his mandatories. Get him done. Go beat Usyk. Then there's no problem about, well, I can't fight Wilder or Fury because of this. We don't know what the time frame is going to be for Wilder or Fury with this whole mediation thing. We don't know what's going to happen, if they're going to have a third fight. And if that's the case, then, well, now AJ's in a position of, you're already in a position of having a mandatory, but you don't have to worry about dropping your title. And if it's about undisputed, should it matter if you fight Fury or Wilder? I mean, of course, personally, we've seen Fury and Wilder already, so we already saw that song and dance. At the same time, we've never seen AJ and Fury. We know they sparred before. We've never seen AJ and Wilder. So as far as I'm concerned, whichever one, even though that's the fight I would rather see, because I think it's a better fight, but at the end of the day, which would be Fury and AJ, but at the end of the day, if it's AJ in Wilder, so be it. Let's get it done. It's just too much talking and not enough action. Yet you got guys like Joe Joyce, who's already 35, just starting to get his shine. We don't know, hopefully Daniel Dubois comes back. Hopefully that he can. And if he can't, he got his sight, he got his health. Hopefully he can find something else to do, but hopefully he can come back. There's other heavyweights that's not getting any shine at all. Dillian White is still at a crossroads right now. So who's next to shine? We don't know what Andy Ruiz is doing. All I keep hearing about Andy Ruiz, he's training with Canelo, and oh man, I got new photos of Canelo, of Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz lost a lot of weight. He looks good. And then all of a sudden we see Andy Ruiz, a video, and he looks fat again. So it's like, everything is just talk, soap opera. Let's just make videos. Let's just talk about something just to have a video out, to get some views, to keep the subscribers happy, I guess, or whatever. And nobody's really talking about nothing because there's nothing going on. At least not in the heavyweight division right now. It's just too much negativity and uncertainties going on. So look, anyway, I say fight your mandatories, get your mandatories out the way. Now, what's the holdup? You move forward either with Wilder or Fury or someone else. But all of this waiting, but I want this fight and this talk and nothing's happening, it's for the birds, man. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth breaks hate out of people. That's all I'm going to say on this video. I will catch y'all on the next one.